Okay, another viewer asks, Okenti asks, do you have some advice against feeling nauseous? I always feel like I'm about to puke. So I don't really give advice. I'm really not about giving advice on this channel. I'm really kind of focusing more on my experience, which I can talk to you about that, and I can talk to you about some other things that I've observed or read about, and kind of try to just give you some tips. But I'm really not giving you advice because I don't know enough about you. I don't know enough about your situation. There's so many things that can affect that can make us feel nauseous. It's kind of like a headache. I mean, you think about what could be the cause of a headache. It's like so hard to pin down. You just want your headache to go away, but in terms of the cause, there could be any number of reasons why you feel nauseous. I'm assuming, Okenti, that you are a new to fasting, or that you're making some attempts at it. The reason I'm assuming that is because when I first started, I did have a couple of little bouts of nausea, where I felt sick, like I might vomit. And in my case, and they were strong. I mean, I felt like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? And so I went to the internet. I laid down, pulled up my phone, and went to the internet to try to do a little research about why I was. And I found out that it's a very common thing. I mean, if you go on to Google and you just Google common, reactions to fasting, it's right up there. With hunger, headaches, and nausea is one of the very common things. So it's common. What's not common, it's common for people who are starting out, I should say. And so what worked for me, I really was able to just kind of lie down, or just sit down, close my eyes, breathe, sip a little water, and within probably 20 or 30 minutes, I felt better. And I never did look at the nausea, and this maybe only happened like twice, okay? This was not a common thing. This happened twice. It's never happened since. It happened within the first 2 weeks that I felt this way. And I didn't look at the nausea just like the other symptoms I experienced that I talk about in my video on the cons of alternate day fasting. I'll put a link in the description so you can find that. But these symptoms have disappeared. And I didn't look at them as symptoms of fasting. I looked at them as symptoms of my abuse of my body for 3 decades. And so what I know now that I didn't know then is that a lot of the times, like when I was in my 30s, I'd get home at the end of a day. If I missed lunch, let's say, I'd get home at the end of a day and I'd have the shakes, and I'd be like, just feel like I was going to fall out and die. And I know now that was from carb addiction, sugar addiction. If you don't, you say, well, there is no such thing as a sugar addiction, and some people believe that. But let me tell you, once I know there's sugar addiction because when I came off of it, I had withdrawal symptoms, and that's what used to give me the shakes and make me feel queasy and like I was going to faint. Just withdrawal symptoms to sugar, not food, but sugar. So I abused my body for years, inadvertently, not really knowing what was going on, not doing the research. And so when it came to fasting and trying to change those patterns, yeah, I experienced some of these symptoms, and I looked at them as the saying, that things sometimes get worse before they get better. Your body, when you fast, your body is shocked, especially when you first start out. And it's just like, what are you doing? And it has to relearn. It's being retrained to live a different way, to eat a different way. And anytime you make a change in your diet, you will probably feel like crap. So fasting is just one of those other experiences, an adjustment period for your body to learn a healthier way. But it's used to what it's used to, and so when you make a change, it reacts. I say that I can't give advice because there's a number of things that can make you feel nauseous. If you exercised really hard while you were in your early stages of fasting, and I would say the first 2 weeks, that could produce stomach bile that could make you feel nauseous. If you're taking iron supplements, if you're taking medications that need to be taken with food, that could make you feel nauseous if you're on a fasting day. So you need to have something, some leafy vegetables or something that you take with your medication with. One thing I noticed early on is that if I had a lot of carbs on my feast day, the next day I would have more of those symptoms. The symptoms of hunger, headaches, discomfort, stomach growling, and some of those nauseous events would be worse if I had lots of carbs, lots of sugar, ice cream, alcohol. These were all triggers for me that the next day. So one suggestion I would make to you is try to eat clean on the days that you eat. Even if you can only do it for 2 weeks, even if you can only eat clean for 2 weeks, it will minimize your symptoms. It will make fasting that much easier if your body has good nutrients and good nutrition, the stuff it really needs on your feeding days. And then when your fast days will be easier and a lot of those symptoms will be reduced. That's what worked for me anyway. Drink cool water, the same as you would if you have a hangover, or if you've ever had a hangover. You sit there and you drink some ice water. A lot of times you sip a couple glasses and you feel better. It was the same with nausea for me. I never actually threw up, but I did feel that sensation. It's not pleasant, but it did pass for me. Just by lying down for a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes, it lasted 20, 30 minutes. Another thing I like to do when I'm feeling any kind of discomfort as a result of fasting. So like if I was feeling weakness, if I was feeling hunger and I just needed a distraction, or nausea or any of that stuff, and this is just suggestion, I took a shower. So if you can take a bath, take a shower, make yourself feel more comfortable just for that little period of time, if you have that ability, go ahead and do that. It's not going to hurt anything. And so now I will say this, I don't think as I've said before, my symptoms are gone. I don't have symptoms like I had. Sometimes I'll still deal with some hunger pangs. Sometimes I'll still deal with feeling a little tired, depending on what I ate the day before, like I just talked about. But if you have persistent headaches, persistent nausea, where it's all the time and all day long while you're trying to fast, you should probably stop fasting and talk to a doctor, because that's outside my league. There may be something else going on there. It's not normal for people who get past the initial stages to keep having those symptoms. So if you keep having those symptoms, it could be a sign of something else, something more serious, or maybe something that your doctor will be able to answer for you and help you work through. So I hope that was helpful to you. Okenti, thank you for the comment. To anyone else who watched this video, I say ask me what you want. I will try to answer in video form. I appreciate the comments and the questions, and I appreciate your watching. Have a good day.